Good evening and welcome to another edition of Covenant Woman. My name is Elizabeth Johnny, and joining me on set today I have Judith Darby and Bernadette George. Ladies, welcome, and it's a pleasure to have you with us this evening. Judith and Bernadette are two of the facilitators of the GriefShare ministry at the Woodbrook Pentecostal Church. We felt it was necessary to deal with this topic of grief today in light of the devastating effects we have seen coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic. The number of persons who have died worldwide is in the millions, and in our nation we have over 3,000 persons who've died from COVID-19. So it means that we have numerous family members, relatives, friends who are experiencing some type of grief, some form of grief. And so today we felt it was necessary to address this topic and find out how persons who are grieving can get help and how they can cope with their grief. So tell us about the structure of the program, of the ministry.
Yes.
And how it works, how can a person join? Give us that information.
So GriefShare is a 3-component design. Right? The first one is the video seminar portion part of it. So it offers 13 videos that are available online after registration. So it features respected Christian counselors and leaders who share wise insights about grief-related topics. These dynamic videos also include persons' testimonies from people who have lost a loved one. So you have your personal testimony there. You hear from them, people who would have gone through, who are going through, and they are the experts. So that's why, as you said in the beginning, we are facilitators.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So there are 13 videos, and the first one is the first part of the 13 videos is comfort.
Okay.
And so those first 5 videos, the first one is called "Is This Normal?" Then we have challenges. Then we have challenges of grief. Then we have the journey of grief and grief and your relationships.
Okay.
So those are the ones that will bring comfort.
Okay.
Right? Then
and that's part of these 13
videos.
Videos, right?
Yes. And then we have the second set, which is answers. You get answers.
Okay.
So we have why. These are the names of the videos. So one is called
and
why.
those are the questions we ask. Why? Yeah.
And then there's guilt and anger.
Wow.
Then there's complicated factors. And then there's stuck. Because we find there are times people are actually stuck in their grief. And then the third part of the videos are called hope. They minister to hope. So it tells you there's the lessons of grief, heaven, and what do I live for now.
Yes.
So we bring you to a place of giving you comfort where you're in there, taking you somewhere, giving you answers, and then giving you hope.
Okay.
For these 13 weeks.
Okay.
Then, so that's the 3 parts, but I said that's just the first part, that's the video seminar portion. And then there's the small group discussion.
Okay. So this will be the second segment of, or second aspect,
of it. So that is the small group discussion. This allowed participants to discuss how the video concept has affected them when they would have viewed the video. So now they're able to share how it has impacted them. They're able to ask questions, and then we are able to share.
So persons will look at the videos. Well, a video per week, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And then there's a small group discussion, and then you will talk about the content of the video.
Yes.
Okay, I understand.
So when we come together on a Sunday, on the Zoom platform from 5 to 7. So after we would have had our opening, where we would do things like icebreakers, where we would share things like, whatever persons may want to share. So we would share song, of course we would pray and things like that. So at that time we would break into smaller groups where we have about 8 persons in a group.
Okay.
And they are persons of like loss we would put together.
Okay. Now when you say like loss, what does that mean?
Okay, so you may have lost your husband, someone else may have lost their a spouse. So we would put the spouses together.
Okay.
And we would so it depends on how many persons we have. So you find you may put the siblings together and the parents, but most times we would leave the spouse and then we would have the others together because it's easier to persons to minister because they understand what each other are going through because of those like losses.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah. And then there's the workbook aspect of it, which the workbook provides a note-taking outline and a daily Bible study for persons where they can have that time with God, going through the Bible and understanding what's going on. It's a daily thing. So you do a bit of it every day. Every day that will bring you to that place now of the healing that is needful. And the workbook, they actually cost $165 TT, and they are available at the Woodbrook Pentecostal Church.
Good.
And should you, as we indicated, want to do a second cycle, there's no other cost. Once you would have paid that, you would have purchased your workbook. There's no registration.
It's the duration of how many cycles you want to participate.
That's right. You're using that same workbook. So as we said, each cycle lasts 13 weeks. And members, as we indicated, are encouraged to attend more. So registration is quite simple. We have made it quite simple for you because we are, as we indicated, it's international. But Woodbrook Pentecostal Church has made it quite easy for persons because we are on the website of Church Initiative, who are the founders of this ministry. But instead of going there to find us and doing all the dramas, we have made it easy for you. All you do is give us your email address, and what will be sent to you will be an invitation to register. And you complete that registration, putting in your email address and your password,
and that's it.
You're in.
Easy peasy.
Yes.
And very accessible.
In for the registration, as I said. And as we indicated, it's just $165 for the workbook. Really, there's no cost for the registration.
You spoke about cycles, and it's a 13-week cycle.
Yes.
Is there a limit as to how many cycles a person can participate in?
We probably recommend 3 to 4.
3 to 4.
Because we don't want you depending on the group, because of course you would need to find your own feet to walk and what have you, recognizing that we are just there facilitating, but it's God at the end of the day.
That's right.
It is all God.
So it's not like a person can be a part indefinitely, you know, 10 cycles going on. No.
Also, to what happens within some people coming for the first cycle and never spoke, they just sat there, they just took in.
And
so they find so it's after the first and they come back to the second cycle, then they start to feel that they can be a part of it.
Tell me a little bit more about how the small group aspect works. You said you try to group people according to similar losses, and the numbers vary. Well, at least you try to keep it at a maximum of 8 persons.
8 persons. So we go into breakout rooms after the open session.
Right.
We go into smaller groups. So you would have several leaders with you. But the leaders, as we say, are there to facilitate. We are not leading and we're not guiding. We would ask the questions and allow the participants to speak. As you know, so at times we don't even speak. We allow them, as we said, body ministry to minister to each other. That happens so often. You know, as one person may be saying how they're feeling, and someone said, I was, or I'm up there, and this is what happened to me, this is what I did. So they really minister to each other. And this is what we want, because you know that helps you so much more when you're helping someone else.
That's right.
And even when persons come into the breakout rooms, the smaller group, and they don't want to speak, they are not mandated to.
Okay, so there's no pressure.
No, there's
to
none
say
whatsoever.
anything, to participate, to contribute.
Because just listening to others is healing for you.
Okay.
We have recognized that
excellent.
has helped persons as Burnett
Yes.
indicated. We have had at least one person that I can pinpoint who came to several of the group, at least two,
Mhm.
never spoke a word.
Wow. Two
Never
cycles,
spoke
at
a
least two cycles.
word, yes.
Yes.
But to say bye-bye, and we would have
Yes.
personal conversations.
Yes.
She would call me, and this cycle, she's opening up.
Yes.
Wow.
She is
So it's people are free to share when they are comfortable
when
and
they're
when they're ready,
comfortable.
and there's no pressure.
No
I love
pressure
how that sounds. I
whatsoever.
love how that sounds.
Yeah, because sometimes it's so fresh, it's so
Yes.
difficult to speak.
Yes.
You know, it's
Yes.
so recent. So we don't pressure anybody.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So if a person wants to be a part, they're hearing this program and they would like to be a part of the GriefShare ministry, what can that person expect? What expectations should they have?
That one, it takes time to heal.
Okay.
You know, don't expect the healing to take place at one go.
Mm-hmm.
Resist the urge to push people to get over it is something that we say that people use,
Okay.
or to move on. You
Yes.
know, but GriefShare, it has no timetable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as Judy said, they can come back again. You know, until they feel that they're able to handle certain
Share.
things. And people often need comfort and answers
Mhm.
before they can move forward.
Okay.
You know, and that's important.
Yes.
You know, sometimes they're seeking the answers, they have the questions, and you know, before they're able to move from where they are. You know, and we have to keep that in mind as we interact with them. So that's why we really cannot push them or force them into a place that, you know, they're not ready to be.
Okay.
Right? You
Okay.
know. The second is that to set proper expectations.
Mhm.
After a cycle of GriefShare, as Julie was saying, some may feel that they have not been able to understand, you know, everything about it. So then it may need another cycle.
Okay.
So that's why we encourage about 2 or 3 cycles
Right.
before they feel at a place where they might be able to even come in and to share their own experience, you know,
Okay.
in helping others.
Mhm.
You know, and GriefShare is also designed that it will guide them through the months and years. So even as the book is theirs, they paid for the book, and even after years, they can have that same book that they can even help, you know, somebody,
Okay.
the family or friends who are in grieving at this point in time.
Right.
You know, and the other thing is that we are not going to shortchange them.
Okay.
You know, and that's where the journey from mourning to joy. That's where we have the videos, where we have the group discussion, where we have the workbook. So we truly encourage them to be a part and to try not to, okay, you come in and you realize, okay, after the first one, not really understanding or feeling it, but come back, give it another shot, give it 2 or 3 times, and then you
Okay.
realize after 3rd or 4th time that they want to finish the course and just dropping out.
Okay.
So that's where
Excellent.
we are. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, we're talking about loss. Does GriefShare only cater to persons who've lost a loved one? Death, that's the only type of loss we focus on?
At
in
the
this
moment,
program?
yes.
At this, yes.
moment. I mean, we know people lose their job, their houses, you
Right.
know,
Uh-huh.
animals or so, but at this point in time, we just cater for those who have lost a loved
A
one.
loved one.
You know, we don't know if later on we may be able to expand,
Other types
right?
of
But at this
loss.
time, yes,
The
that's what we're
focus
dealing
is, so
with.
the
yes.
focus basically primarily so persons who've lost a loved
Loved
one,
one,
whether it's a
yes.
spouse,
Yes.
a sibling,
or
a child,
yes.
a relative, a
Yes,
family
anybody,
member.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. I want to go back a bit. To the issue, the community aspect. How does that work? How do you facilitate persons from the community who, you know, may need this particular ministry?
Okay, well, with that ministry, as we said, what we encourage when we put it on all the media,
Okay.
right? So we encourage people, invite a friend, invite whoever. And the thing is, all are welcome.
Good.
Doesn't matter religion, doesn't matter whoever, all are welcome.
You're dealing
So
with humans
right.
and their grief.
Yes.
It's
yes.
not a religious or denominational right.
no.
Okay, criteria.
You know, and in that way, you find that through the community, and as Ruth explained, is also an aspect where you can meet people because this is Bible based.
Okay.
Okay, so that's one of the aspects. So they come in and know it's Bible based. So they are the community is free to come in. They are also a part of it, you know. And what you find that, especially with families, and we're having a lot of type of murders that we're having.
Yes.
So you find that when you
Yes.
do, you reach out to people like
Yes.
that, and just and we have had cases where people did come in, those who have
Mhm.
sons or who didn't know have been murdered, took
Mhm.
guns and all of that,
Mhm.
and they were also part of it. But it is really a traumatic experience
Yes.
when they are in these sessions and speaking about it.
Wow.
As mothers, and as
Yes.
sisters, so you really feel and the pain that they
Mhm.
are going through,
Mhm.
at this point in time.
I don't know if it's good or bad, but we cry with them sometimes.
Well, I mean, the word of God does tell us to mourn with those, weep with those who weep.
Yes,
So
Definitely do.
wow,
Yeah.
it is heartbreaking when somebody shares their story
Yes.
of grief. It would be heartbreaking.
And we were told at one point we need to put on and to cover ourselves
Yeah.
because all the
Put
type
on
of things that are coming out of
Okay.
it. So emotionally, yes.
Yes,
So we
it
have
is.
to cover ourselves before. So when
Right.
it come out, you don't carry it.
Okay, I understand. I understand. Now, how can churches, because this is coming out of the Woodbrook
Yeah.
Pentecostal Church, and this is an excellent ministry. It is a much needed ministry because, as you rightly said, we are very good at providing immediate support and comfort for the first maybe 9-10 days. The person dies, we have the services until the funeral, and maybe even a day or two after the funeral. After that, you kind of have to deal with it on their own.
yes.
So how can churches, how can we become involved in this ministry? It's not possible for any pastor to give consistent, ongoing support to members of the flock who may be grieving. So how can the layperson, as you said, how can churches get involved in training and being a part of GriefShare?
I'm so glad you asked that question.
Mm-hmm.
We actually, currently, we have 2 churches who have sent their members, the pastors have
Excellent.
sent their members
Yes.
to be trained so that they too can open the ministry in their congregation.
Right.
And they, of course, themselves are participants and members in the sense that they too would have lost loved ones.
Okay.
So you're not doing it from a theoretical point of view,
Right.
but they too themselves would have experienced loss.
So if I would want to be a part of Grief, as facilitator of GriefShare, you're recommending that the person should have experienced firsthand that you
It
think that
is
would better.
recommended. It's so much
Yes.
easier because the thing is that you can empathize
And
now.
you can better understand.
Because this is a
connect with.
ministry of empathy.
Yes.
We see Jesus when his friend Lazarus died, he cried.
Mm-hmm.
And that is so amazing, the fact that he knew he was going to raise Lazarus from the dead,
Yes.
but he
yes.
still cried
Yeah,
because he was feeling what the others were feeling.
that's right.
So the empathy here is so much needed to be
important.
able to minister to someone
Good.
in this particular ministry.
All right.
So the churches have sent their people. So what we are trusting God to do is to start our local network fellowship with the churches in the nation who are interested in doing this.
Okay.
As we indicated earlier, it is coming out of Church Initiative in the US. So we are sticking to their program, and this is the only way we'll be able
Okay.
to stay on their site
Okay.
to find a group. So you can
Right.
actually go on their website and find a group in Trinidad, and it will be Woodbrook Pentecostal Church.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
We are the only one that we are aware that actually function in this way. So
Okay.
you can do that. So this is what the others are coming in. They're being trained just as we ourselves would have been part of other ministries where this is where we receive the training. And the good thing is that they are open. They
Okay.
are constantly letting you know you can call them to
Right.
ask your questions.
Okay. Great.
And there are a lot of resources online.
Yes.
All the things that we would need, the training, what have you, it is there so that you can actually be better at offering this ministry to
Okay.
your church.
Okay.
So it is available here.
So okay, a pastor is listening, or a lay person is listening, or an elder is listening, and they say, okay, this is something that we would want to do. We would want to become a part of. We want to have this at our church. How they contact you and where can they get information to start the training?
Okay, they can contact us. Our email address is wpcgriefshare@gmail.com. That's wpcgriefshare@gmail.com. If they go online, they will find the number 740-9975, and they can call that number and they will immediately get on to someone who will be able to direct them and to tell them how they can move forward. It's also available on Woodbrook's website as well.
Okay.
That's woodbrookpc.org. So persons can go there so that they can seek more information on how to actually be a part of this ministry.
Excellent.
Because the thing is, it's so much needed in the communities.
Yes,
It's not
it
just
is.
for us. We have to reach out to others. And as we said earlier, it is an evangelistic tool.
Yes.
So you go there, your folks, they don't know the Lord, and you are ministering to that felt need that they have at this time. They will see you as somebody they can trust.
That's right.
And this is what we do, apart from our Sunday gathering. People call us Monday to Saturday.
Right through.
We pray with them.
Yeah.
We minister to them. You know, we have to be there for them. So this is why, as Bernadette indicated earlier, we have to put on our PPE.
Yes.
We too have to protect ourselves. We're giving
Yes.
out, but we are doing this
And
all
it
for
would be a
God's
very
glory.
emotionally intense type of exchange.
It is.
So yes, it would be. It would be. So could you call that number again as well as the email address
Yes.
for those who may have missed it?
That's wpcgriefshare@gmail.com. And the number is 740-9975.
Excellent.
And our website is woodbrookpc.org.
So anybody who's interested in being trained or being a participant in the GriefShare ministry can reach you at that number or the website or the email address.
That's correct.
Excellent. And you said that a new cycle began
On the 1st of May.
on the 1st of May. But if I'm hearing about this today and I would like to be a part of, I would like to join, I can just register, call, and
That's correct.
I
You
can
can
join
join at
mid-cycle.
any time because each session that we have is self-contained.
Okay.
So
alright.
that you can come in at the 5th week, and that's fine. You go on to the 13th week,
Right.
and then you can just, for the next cycle, you can just do 1 to 4.
Okay.
If you so desire.
Okay. Excellent. So it really is structured in such a way to facilitate anybody.
That's right.
And it makes it as comfortable as possible for persons who are grieving to participate.
Yes.
This is excellent. This is excellent.
It has always been my desire to be the kind of person who makes a difference wherever I go and to whomever I come in contact with. To be the kind of woman who is confident in my skills, my abilities, and my giftings. But then I encountered an unexpected levee in my life, an embankment that seemed to thwart the overflow of joy, peace, and even good health in my life. This levy was the death of my baby sister Daphne. I came to the place where I was struck by feelings of panic, anxiety, depression, and the feeling that life and by extension, my God, was just not being fair to me. What happened next was that I then spent thousands upon thousands of dollars on numerous medical tests, many hospital stays and specialist visits trying to discover what was really going on within my body. Then I was invited to the GriefShare ministry of the Woodbrook Pentecostal Chapel, and this started me on the road to discovery and my journey back to wholeness. This ministry has helped me to finally get the strength and courage to be able to open Pandora's box and look inside, to finally be able to deal with all those suppressed emotions that had been negatively affecting me and my health. I must say that I have been through 3 cycles of grief of this program, and it has helped me to understand the process of grief and set me back on the road to being the confident and whole woman that God created me to be. A woman who can make a difference by encouraging someone else who might be going through and struggling with their own journey of grief.
Good afternoon. My name is Nicola Jones. I have been married for 12 wonderful years to my husband Anthony. He lost his battle with cancer this year, December. So I've been battling with grief for the past 4 months. It's fresh, it's new, it hurts. It's a journey that I've embarked upon that I never thought I would so early in my life. My pastor introduced me to GriefShare, which I did attend, and I did all the sessions, but it's not easy. It is not an easy journey. It's a long journey. No one can tell you how long or how hard to grieve. And this has been continuing. It has good days and bad days. My husband's mantra was, God is good and faithful. And then to be absent with the body is to be present with God. I know I'll see him someday in heaven. The only thing that brings me peace is that knowing that God is sovereign. That this didn't take God by surprise. So as I grieve, I have friends, I have family that support. I have a group that is able to help me through my bad days. And I know this too shall pass. I know God has purpose and there's victory at the end of it. But as I grieve, I just trust and I hold on.
Ladies, thank you so much. This was such an interesting discussion and such a much needed discussion, because I can't say most persons, but many persons would have experienced grief, loss in some way, and some of us have not dealt with our grief. Some of us are, we're struggling, we are not coping well. So this is an excellent ministry for persons who need that type of help. So again, thank you, Judith. Thank you, Bernadette, for joining us on Covenant Woman, and thank you for sharing about GriefShare and how we can become a part of the training and even referring persons to the program. Yeah? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of another edition of Covenant Woman. As I said, I had Judith and Bernadette with me, and today we were talking about grief and the GriefShare ministry that they are facilitators of at the Woodbrook Pentecostal Church. We are so grateful that you were with us today. We want to bless you. We say thank you for joining us, and you have a wonderful evening. God bless.